How you doing, YouTube? Just sitting back watching the Braves whoop up on, actually I think it's tied right now, but yesterday Braves whooped up on Baltimore real good, so watching the game 2 of that series and decided why not review some beers while I'm doing so. We're going to be reviewing a German beer. We're going to be reviewing a German Festbier. We're reviewing Bitburger Festbier, although I'm going to go ahead and say this is not a beer that you will be drinking if you go to the actual Oktoberfest. Only 5 breweries. Go ahead and pour this up, and since I already have a Sam Adams glass out, might as well throw it in that. There are only 5 breweries allowed to serve beer at Oktoberfest. You have, let's see if I can remember all of them. Augustiner, or however you pronounce it. It's like Hacker something another. That's the only one that's one I have a real issue pronouncing, although I do have a bottle of their Festbier in the fridge right now. We're going to be reviewing that soon. Spaten. I have Spaten Oktoberfest in the fridge as well. We're going to be reviewing that soon. Paulaner. I did have a whole liter of Paulaner Festbier. It is not with us anymore. And Spaten, Paulaner, Augustiner. I'm missing one. Spaten, Paulaner, Augustiner, the Hacker. I'll see if I can remember that. Anyway, go ahead and pour this up. I can't believe I forgot one of the beers, because I've had all of them except for the Hacker and the Augustiner. Anyway, beautiful beer here. Beautiful beer. Let's go ahead and check the ABV on this. I actually don't know anything about this beer. 6.2% alcohol by volume, which is where a Festbier normally comes in at. From Bitburger Brau Group A. Oh, and the Hofbrau. That's the 5th one. Bitburger, Germany. And this is imported by St. Killian's Importing Company. Okay. All right. Well, you got 11.2 ounce here. This is not a traditional 12-ounce bottle, you know, the metric system and whatnot. Beautiful beer, though. Got a nice rocky head up top, off-white head. A little bit cloudy. Definitely a golden beer. This is supposed to be a Festbier, but they're almost copper-like. This is similar looking to an Oktoberfest, though when you hold it to the light, it gets a little bit lighter. But still, you could pour this in this glass and be like, oh, it's Oktoberfest beer. It's like just Marzen. I would, based on the appearance, go, it kind of looks like a Marzen. Smell-wise, though, that's very light. Oh, I'm getting it smells similar to just Bitburger Pilsner. Main thing I'm getting is a hop bite, which normally you don't really get with Festbiers. They're not supposed to be all that hoppy, traditionally. Huh. Kind of reminds me of just the original Bitburger. This is more similar like a Pilsner kind of Euro lager thing than a Festbier. I mean, it's good. It's very good. Yeah, it's kind of light. It's a little watery even. And then you just kind of have you have that white bread, and then you have that just kind of a Pilsner-y hop bite. Now, it's not as hoppy as, say, like a Pilsner Urquell or a Grolsch, but it still definitely has like that Euro lager kind of twang to it. I mean, don't get me excuse me. Don't get me wrong. This is a very good beer, although my thing is just it doesn't quite seem like it knows what it wants to be. Like this, I mean, I'm not a beer expert. I know I review beer, but just because I review beer on YouTube doesn't mean I'm a beer expert. Just like I could record a video about how to replace the thermostat and and a water pump and a 2.3 liter, like, 90s Ford Ranger, but that don't make me a mechanic. But I will say, like, it doesn't really seem to be really conforming, to the style all that well. Reminds me somewhat of, although it's still quite different from what I had. There's a craft beer place in North Carolina, or a brewery in North Carolina. I don't remember the brewery or anything, but I went to the local liquor store down the road about a week ago, and I just saw Festbier. I'm like, oh my God, I've never had a Festbier. Like, this year's the first time I've had Festbier. So I decided, I'm just grab that. And I read the reviews and I was like, well, it's kind of too hoppy to really be a true Festbier and all that. It's kind of where this is reminding me of. I mean, it's very good, but just, I don't know. Although, I mean, still, it's very good. Although the color doesn't quite match the flavor. Like, you hand this to me, I would have been a little shocked, because I look at this and it's honestly it's pretty dark compared to some of the other beers I've seen. Like, you could say, oh, this is actually a Marzen, and I'm like, okay, and then I sniff it and I go, that's weird. Okay, then take a sip and I'm like, it tastes like a Euro lager. Like I said, got that grassiness. There's a little white bread character there, but it's colored a little bit darker than some of the other fest beers I've seen, although, like I said, I'm not an expert. And it tastes a little lighter than some of the fest beers. So it's almost like an oxymoron in a bottle. And I'm gonna go ahead and deduct just a little bit for my rating, because it just doesn't quite seem to match up to the style. It's a good beer, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it 8 out of 10. I'm just gonna chop off a half a point there. I know I'm splitting hairs, being kind of douchey, like, I'm a craft beer expert. Oh yeah, but no, it's just weird. But it's a good beer. I really enjoy this. I would buy it again, but my expectations are different now. I won't look at this and think, oh, it's a straight up fest beer. I'm gonna go, well, it kind of is, but it's a little more twangy, it's a little more hoppy. It's different. But I kind of like that. It's definitely kind of in between a Pilsner and a fest beer. Definitely a very interesting beer nonetheless. But go ahead and give it an 8 out of 10. Like, rate, and subscribe if you care to. So far, I was correct. The Braves are whooping up on the Orioles. 3-0 here. Bottom of the fourth, 2 outs. Runner on third. Like, rate, and subscribe if you care to. If you don't, it is what it is. Drink you a good beer. Hell, even go ahead and try this Bitburger. Like I said, 8 out of 10. And then go out and just destroy, absolutely massacre your local pedophile. And then have yourself a good night and a pleasant tomorrow.